Okay, so we will get started. So good morning to all of you and good afternoon to those of you who are joining us from India. We're really delighted to have you with us for this India Jobs Market Information session for students and graduates, which is jointly hosted by the University of Glasgow and the University of Birmingham. My name is Rosie Sim, and I'm the International Employability Manager at the University of Glasgow. We are also joined by my colleague Wen Hao, who is the Head of External Engagement in the Careers Network at the University of Birmingham. We're really delighted that our speaker today is Mukta Khanna, Employability Relationship Manager for both the Universities of Glasgow and Birmingham. So Mukta is a senior education and employability professional with extensive experience across higher education, vocational training, career development, and placement leadership in India. Mukta will be delivering this session from Delhi, where she is based today. You will see in Zoom that the chat function has been switched off. So we invite you to please ask your questions using the Q&A function, which you can find at the bottom of your screen by clicking on the three dots icon, which also says more. And then Mukta will answer your questions at the end. So I will stop speaking now and hand over to Mukta to get started. Oh, Mukta, I think you are on mute actually at the moment.
Thanks for the introduction, Rosie. Very good morning to everyone in UK and good afternoon to everyone who's joined in from India. I would thank both the universities for having me today to talk to the students. And as I can see, there are more participants joining in. Uh, so I'll start with the webinar where I'll be talking a lot on based on my past experience because I have worked very closely with the industry in different domains and I've seen the process how they got jobs and lots of my conversation would evolve around my experience with the industry. And before we start, I would just like to ask you something which is very simple. So think for a moment, what does success mean to you few years ago? So if I take you back when you were studying in your 10th grade, school, getting good score in the board exams was success for you. You evolved, you chose the subjects which you wanted to, and therein you got courses of your choice. Then you gave your 12th exam and it meant for you to take undergraduate course. So success got redefined and later some of you I think even worked and came for your masters to UK, which was a very big move. And I would say after this whole success meant completely moving to a new country, settling to a new culture, and then for many of you, it meant stepping out from your comfort zone, moving to this new country, and adjusting to a completely new system. So you all have succeeded, and now it's a time where success again is going to uh, refine again for you. So if you look back, success has been evolving. It's been changing with every phase in your career. So now success is about clarity, direction, and finding the right opportunity. So today I'll be talking to you about the next step and how you could prepare it with confidence. So I'll just start. So I'll request if you can just participate in the poll. That's for me to understand what background you are joining in from. So I'm launching the poll. You can just answer whatever applies to you. If you're currently pursuing an undergraduate program, you're pursuing a master's program, or you're seeking an entry-level role, or if you have some past prior experience above 1 year and you've got some work experience maybe in India or UK or anywhere else. So I'll just wait for your poll. I think some of you yet not participated. Yes. I request everyone to participate in the poll. I think few of you have yet not answered the poll. I request everyone to participate. Okay, so thanks everyone for the participation. So I'll quickly take the agenda for today's session. We'll be talking about career opportunities in India, your UK advantage, what makes you different, future jobs in India, high opportunity sectors for global graduates, how companies hire in India, the process and the skills they look at, and how you can build a India ready CV, and designing your global career vision. I'll help you to build a job search strategy for yourself. And as we move ahead in the presentation, I'll request you can just keep noting your questions. We'll take the questions in the end. So as you know, in India, you have lots of options to work in. So you have Global Capability Center, multinational companies. You can opt for government sector. You can join in startup, wherein you have fintech and edtech. And you can also work in as an entrepreneur. And in case you are keen, you can take on higher studies. Now, the question is, what options exist? The most important question is, where do I fit best? So India is a very fast moving and competitive industry. So a clarity of direction will give you an edge. So in case you decide at an early stage where I would be keen to apply, that will help you to understand these industries better, and you could define for yourself where you see yourself. So in India, I am sure you might be aware that there are certain cities which continue to lead in hiring across different sectors. We have Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Delhi NCR, Pune, and Chennai. But you know, there's something very interesting which is changing in India. The global roles today are managed from India, so work is becoming more distributed. So instead of focusing on location, you know, you need to start thinking about the sector, the skills, and your long-term growth. So as it mentions, you know, different city have their own unique ecosystem, but you need to identify, okay, I am from the automotive background. You could look at the city and figure out the companies where you would be keen to work in. So I'm not sure how many of you are aware about Global Capability Center. I'm going to talk a little about Global Capability Center because it's something which is very, very interesting, which has been happening in India. Uh, A capability center is an India office of a global company that supports work across the world. So it means like it's a support and an innovation center for a multinational company. Across the world, I would say companies from USA, UK, Germany, they have their global capability centers in India. And yes, they do hire freshers, they do hire students from different backgrounds, but the skills are most important what they look at. So a clarity of thinking and adaptability and communication skills. Since they're basically representing the global offices, it's very, very important that you study about the global capability centers of different global companies in India. So it's not like a call center. It's basically they handle the global functions of multinational companies. They work across artificial intelligence, finance, risk, research and development, and lots of them work on data analytics. So this is an insight which I wanted to share. This is from last year's CII GCC Summit by Mr. Romil Shetty from he's Deloitte South Asia CEO. So he mentioned that at present in India, there are 1,800 plus GCC. So which means there are 1,800 global offices of different companies in India, and there's a huge growth potential since by 2030 it is expected that these GCCs will scale from 1,800 to 5,000, which means more jobs. There'll be job creation in these global capability centers. So the role of Global Capability Center is also evolved in last years. Initially, they were delivery centers, but now they're actually handling the global innovation of different multinational companies. Yes, we know, in India, Bangalore is where the highest number of GCCs are there. Right now, around 95% of GCC are in six metros, but coming times, you'll see lots of tier two and tier three cities where these GCC would be coming up. So basically, India provides a very good ecosystem for these global capability centers. So you could check across the companies which have GCC in India, and maybe that will help you to get an insight on another area where you can look forward for working in. So these are some of the companies out of those 1,800 who have global capability centers in India. Recently, I met Barclays India CEO, where he mentioned right now we have GCC in Pune, Chennai, and Noida, and soon they'll be opening up a GCC in Gurgaon. So that's the scale of work which these GCCs are doing, and it'll be really interesting for you to look at opportunities in these capability centers in India. Now, yes, I think many of you would be thinking why, I'm going to talk about India. But yes, throughout my session, I'll request, you could look at not just working at India or UK, you should look at working yourself globally. So I would call you like a global student where, you need not restrict yourself with the country, but yes, look at global opportunities, because your UK advantage is that you're working on global scale. So I'll just quickly take on what are the advantages which make you different when you're coming to India or you're going to any country. So you're basically working on a global mindset. So you're working with global teams. I'm sure when you're doing projects there, you're working with your team members might be from different countries. So that's where you are learning to work in a global mindset. So that really happens when you're working for any multinational company. You have team members from different countries. So that's something which is a unique advantage for you. And you're working also on a cross-cultural competency, a unique international perspective. So you know people with different countries, how their cultures are, and that exposure is going to really help you wherever you go. And yes, you are studying at the Russell Group universities, so you've got a strong academic background and good communication skills, because of which you were able to reach to the UK universities. So your UK experience gives you something very valuable, that is the exposure. While in UK, don't stay with one circle. You should make friends with the peers from different countries, learn different perspective, and actually, I would say your classroom is it's global, and you must use it fully. So you might think how employers in India would look at UK graduates. So as I said, your global exposure and international mindset is very important. So when you're getting hired anywhere, it is known that you've worked with people from different backgrounds. So that would be a very good advantage for you. Strong communication and presentation skills, because you've gone through the academics, you've gone through the training, which wherein you've got a very good communication skills, the analytical and research oriented thinking, independent and professional work style. So in this, I would like to share a very interesting discussion. I had my cousin's son who studied undergrad in India and then went for his higher studies. So what he told me, this one thing he felt was, when I was in India, my project teammates were my friends. So I could easily, discuss and take up the area where I was more comfortable. But when I studied abroad, we had people from different countries, and it was where I actually worked very professionally, and I worked on the area which was given to me. So yes, when you're working with different team members, you work in a professional way, and that's expected from you. When you are working in India, it's understood that you've got that exposure which has made you independent and professional, and not forgetting that you're doing multitasking there, probably things which you might have not done in India. You are managing your lodging, you're managing your assignments along with your food. So it is taken that you're very, very independent, because you've not just moved a city in India, you've just moved to a new country. And also, once you are in a different country, you've adapted yourself, and that is something which every company wants, so that if you're working with them in India, but there's a need for you to go to some different country, you are adaptable. So that's what you've proved being a UK graduate. Okay, now this is very interesting. Artificial intelligence already making lots of noise around. So in India also, you would, I don't know how many of you are aware that companies have actually started taking interviews through AI. So initial lots of hiring processes are changing, and the India job market is being reshaped by adopting artificial intelligence. So, Global Capability Center expansion is something which is really good for you if you plan to come back. Renewable energy and electric vehicle, there's lots and lots of work which is happening around these, and sustainability also. Digital finance and analytics is one area where lots of work is happening in India. And living in another country has made you confident and ready for the global workplace. So remember, exposure may open doors, but performance is what builds your career. So you need to look around the jobs which are coming up in India, and plan your next strategy accordingly. So India's job market is going through a major transformation. Employers are focusing on skill-based hiring. So they're very, very particular about the skills on basis of which they want to hire. And building the right skills in your sector will open opportunities for future. And I'm sure you might know about the FTA with UK and India. That is also going to strengthen it's going to strengthen the relationship with industry also. So this is a little insight on how the roles, and also in a recent research, it was said that by 2030, there will be changes in job roles, there'll be changes in job description. So you need to prepare yourself for the future jobs in India. So these are some of the high opportunity sectors for the global graduates. So I'm again using a word here, global graduates, because these all sectors are in every country, and you could look at the skills which you need to develop to work in these sectors. So consulting, finance services, technology, GCC, biotech, and life sciences. I've just picked few of the companies, but the list is huge. So if you are really focused, you need to start focusing on, all right, which is the sector wherein I want to work in, and start penning it down, the companies where you would be, you dream to work in. And if you identify those at an early stage, it will be really helpful, because you could look at working on projects around that. So it is going to be really helpful for you. So these sectors currently offer strong opportunities for global graduates. And instead of applying everywhere, choose your direction wisely. And in this, probably it's an insight. If some of the sector you are from and it is not mentioned here, please consider that in India, every industry is looking for students who've studied globally. So I'll have the second poll for the day. I'll request everybody to participate. I can't see. I request everyone to participate in the poll. I think some of you have still not participated. I'll request everyone to participate. All right, thanks for participating. So let me take you around to how hirings actually happen in India. So in India, we there's skill-based hiring. So as I'm talking about skills again and again, your skills are global. Whether you work anywhere in India, these are the skills which will be recognized. So I'll be talking a little more on the skills which you really need to work on. Strategic LinkedIn outreach. So, LinkedIn has evolved big way here in India. Initially, it was more of a networking platform, but right now companies are hiring through LinkedIn. So you need to have a strategic presence in LinkedIn. Companies hire through the direct application via company portals. Very, very important that you keep an eye on the companies where you want to apply so that whenever there's a job opening which you're looking for, you can apply through. And there's a strong referral culture which is there in India where, specifically if it's internship or if you're looking for an opening, a referral would really help you if you have. So you could actually make list of the companies and then find out if you have any referral in those companies. There's a high growth opportunity GCC hiring. As I earlier also mentioned, global capability centers are going to be in huge numbers and there'll be good hirings happening. Yes, the global capability centers don't hire in huge numbers. They're very selective in the number of hirings which they do. But yes, you can look at that as a very big opportunity in India. So competition is high and referrals play an important role. So students who prepare early and build a network usually have an advantage. So looking at the process, so this is a very generic process which is followed in India. It might, change based on the company own strategy or the way they do hirings. But yes, your resume, your CV screening is done and you're shortlisted based on that, followed by a online test which could be a aptitude test which might include verbal ability, logical reasoning and analytical. In case of IT students, they might also have a coding test and your technical domain test. You come from finance background, you come from engineering background, whatever background you come from, your technical test is taken. In case there's a group discussion or a case study needed, it's more in the students from who are from the business background. And then at times there are multiple technical interview rounds. In case you have some past experience, you need to technically put yourself very well. In case you worked in some domain and then you've done your masters, it's necessary that you put your technical skills and prepare for technical interviews. And final round comes is the HR interview round, and there's a background check, and you get the final offer. So this is a typical pattern which is or the process which is being followed by the companies in India. Now, what are the skills, key skills? So, technical skills, yes, you're going to be hired on the technical skills of your domain. Communication skills, very, very important. Adaptability and learning mindset. So, it's very interesting that, I've added learning mindset because, sometimes we feel, okay, I've done my master's, now I need to stop learning. No, it's you need to be a lifelong learner. When you join an organization, they would have their own work culture and you need to learn according to the company. So it's very, very important that you take learning as your I would say you need to keep upskilling yourself. And AI skills, yes, there was a time when computers used to be a prerequisite, but yes, AI is a very important skill, which is basically if you're from any domain, you're expected to know AI and how well you can use it. In fact, I was just going through some companies portal, and there are new roles which are coming, like AI prompt engineer. It mentioned that we need people who can prompt AI to do work. So, you need to understand your domain and understand how I have to upskill myself to be in that pace. And it's not just happening in India, it's happening globally. So AI is refining and rechanging the job roles. So you need to understand the key skills which you need, bare minimum. It's not just about IT or computer students, healthcare, biomedical, everywhere you can use AI. So you need to learn the AI skills and a cultural fit. So now this is very interesting how well you can work with teams and how you communicate with your colleagues from different backgrounds. So this is what companies look at when they do hiring. So this was last year's Deloitte report, wherein 96% companies said that the technical interview performance is what they look at, and assessment and test. Yes, in India, wherever you apply, you will be asked to give aptitude and the technical test. So you need to work on it. And one very interesting thing is that, these assessment is something which you cannot work in a day. So you need to plan yourself that, all right, maybe you need not start, you need to look at what are the assessment tests which companies are taking. At least that will help you to understand how I prepare myself. And yes, HR interview. So if you are able to reach to the HR interview and somehow you're not well prepared. So earlier test what you have given, the rejection is something which we don't like. So if you need to prepare yourself in all the areas so you can succeed and get the final job offer. So you need to consider that I need a balance of all the skills and all the evaluations which a company would be doing. So it will be really helpful for you if you understand these processes and prepare yourself. So there's a little about India hiring dynamics. So there's a faster hiring cycles. If you just search around the hirings, all of a sudden companies come and they want to have people. Typically, global capability centers, they just keep on hiring throughout the year. So it's a very fast pace where the hirings happen. High competition is there because, as you know, the number of students applying for one job is huge, so there's a good competition. And yes, again, strong referral culture. I earlier also mentioned it helps if you have a referral. For example, there's a job opening posted by JCB, and you actually have somebody who's working in JCB, though you applied online. If that referral is there, it'll really help you to reaching the interview stage. And aptitude and technical testing focus. So your pre-screening might be only aptitude, and then you are asked to give the technical test. So it's very important that you understand them well and focus your planning and you work accordingly. So I'm sure most of you might be knowing these job portals. Why I mentioned this here is maybe, if you are not searching for a job right now, even if you're looking to understand how the job openings are, you might like to visit these companies and understand what are the skills companies look at for the profile what you're looking at. Suppose you are a mechanical engineering student, you could search across these portal to figure out what are the skill sets, and specifically looking at the job description, it will really help you to understand the current hiring trends. So these companies, most of the companies' job openings are posted through these job portals. So maybe it will be helpful if you can go and have a look at them. Now, very important part is building an India-ready CV. So, it's very interesting that you might be very good at technical, you might be very good, very well prepared for your interviews, but you are not able to get an interview call. So there might be a possibility that your CV is not well prepared, and you're not getting shortlisted only for a call. So it's very, very important to understand that if you have a CV which is not specific to the requirement of a company, it might simply not get selected. So keep it simple. Have a one page. So if you are experienced, probably if you've got a good experience of 1 or 2 or 3 years, it might be a little bigger. But for a fresher, it's always good to have a one-page CV. It should be clean and easy to read format, because lots and lots of companies are using automated system to scan the CV. So it should be clean so that a machine can actually scan through your CV. Avoid have heavy design graphics or columns, so that if AI is reading that CV, it might not understand. So please keep it simple. Strong career summary. So you need, through your CV, you are just giving somebody who's yet not met you, who's yet not interviewed you. So clearly state who you are, mention your fields or domain, highlight your key strengths and skills. It's very important that your resume has your key strengths and skills. Again, I'm sure by the end of the webinar you'll be saying, ma'am said so many times skills. So yes, it's a very, very critical section. Highlight the technologies you can confidently use. Include both technical and soft skills. Align your skills with relevant job description keyword. So for example, this job openings is having some specific keyword, and you need to modify your CV as and when you are applying to companies. And very important is your project. So if you have past experience, if you do not have experience, please put your projects nicely, because when you are interviewed, the interviewer is going to ask questions around your projects. And if you have got any experience, if you're working there part time, please mention your experience in a way that it's very, very relevant, that you clearly mention your experience and what was the objective. If it's a project, you clearly mention it. What tools or methods did you use? So interviewer is not interested to just see the title of the project, what you worked on. They're really keen to understand how you worked on it, how were the measurable results which you achieved in it. So one thing I would like to share here, that when your resume goes to a company, they are trusting you that whatever you have written in your CV is about yourself. So be very, very truthful what you write in your CV, because I've seen in past that if you mention something which you don't know, please understand the person who is interviewing you is somebody who's been in industry for a long time. And if you mention any technology or any skills which you are really not aware of, the interviewer will easily get to know. So please be very honest in your CV. And one thing here, which is very, very important, that you understand that all the questions or the final interview which you might have will be from your CV only. So don't mention anything you are not confident in. I've seen students at time writing 10 technologies, but they're just very proficient in one or two. So please don't mention anything which, if asked, you are unable to answer. So this is very important, that your CV is authentic. And yes, I would here also add, like, if you are using a AI to completely make CV, please don't do that mistake, because everybody is using AI. If to make a CV, though, the machine and the person who's interviewing you can easily make out. So yes, take help of AI, take inputs from AI, but let that CV be reflection of what you are. So it's very important that you consider these aspects while you are making your CV. Uh, I'm sure you might be knowing about applicant tracking systems. So your CV needs to be ATS friendly, because the number of CVs which come for any job opening is huge. So companies are using ATS to scan the CV. So use clear heading, keywords, and bullet points as mentioned in the job description so that your CV gets shortlisted. Use industry specific keywords. Add industry specific keywords, which are basically very, very good if you put in your CV. These keywords help employer to find the right candidate. So you could actually, look at the job description, understand the keywords which are there, and, mention them in your CV. Also make, you could add a summary, and in your skill section you could clearly mention, so that when anybody who's looking through your CV, just looking at your summary, he's able to make out about you. Okay, so design your global career vision. So herein again, I'm stressing that, look yourself as a person who can work globally anywhere. And these are some inputs, I'm sure, which you'll be able to look into it. So choose your direction. So once you have decided, okay, which sector I want to work in, choose a role. So a role would be very specific, where you decide, okay, I am from finance. You have multiple roles which you can work on. So what you need to streamline, okay, maybe you might be at a studying stage at the moment, so you try to understand what all roles you can take up at the sector. That will really help you to understand your interest or your specific role you will be keen to take up. And build strong skills. So actually, if you are still, there's time, I'm sure many of you are still in your mid of the courses. So take on the projects which actually are of your interest. Focus on certification. As you need to know which certification is going to help me, and it's from the background or the domain where I'm from. Take internships, do internship wherever possible. Internship is basically your first interface, where you get to know about the industry. So internship is very, very important. If you are a undergraduate student, maybe in second or third year, whenever coming to India, please utilize your time and do take internship. And every company, every GCC, they're very open to internship. And in my past experience, I've seen 80% of internship offering a final pre-placement offer. So at times, internship can actually help you to get a job. And also, I would like to mention here, lots of companies do global competitions, they do hackathons. So please look around. And I remember that there's a Accenture where one of my students got internship through participating in a competition. So, you could look at all companies' portals for the internships and connect. I'm sure by now you all know that network is very, very important. So build a global network, learn from peers around you, and connect with alumni and industry professional. It is very, very important that you build a network where whenever you need any guidance, there are your seniors, there are your alumni who have gone through a complete process. They studied, now they are in industry, so you could take input from them. And also industry professional, I see so many events being done by career services teams, so please participate in them, because being there, you can take the maximum from learnings from that. So connect with alumni and the industry professionals. Understand what is, just for a day, think you are going to hire five programmers. So what would be the skills that you would look at? So sit at the other place and think, what are the skills or what are the things I will be wanting if I have to hire somebody? So that is something which will help you to understand what goes in the other side. So you could talk to as many people as possible who are in industry, and they will be able to give you a clear picture on what are the expectations they have when they hire someone. So there are lots of things I'm sure you already are doing, but these are some of the things which I feel if you start at early age, or it'll be really, really helpful, because you should use every resource available to you. Career services sessions, I must say, they are not optional, they are preparation. Mock interviews, CV reviews, employer talks, attend them seriously. They will prepare you for opportunities in India or anywhere else in the world. And yes, there's one thing at times we feel, whether I should ask this question or why I should not ask. So it's even if you feel it's something very simple, please go and ask question, because the more you ask, your doubts will get cleared. So never be afraid of asking questions, and don't keep any doubts in your mind. Clarity builds confidence. So I would suggest early planning. Like, if you're going to some place, what is the checklist? We generally, put down, okay, this is the route I'll be following, these will be the things I'll need while I'll be going to that destination. So yes, look at your dream career, your job, as something which is your goal, and prepare a roadmap. And best is, early planning would help you, so that you have good time, and you can make a roadmap for yourself. So for now, if you have 6 months to graduate, make a roadmap for 3 months, then 6 months, and 1 year. If you have already finished your masters, and maybe some of you are already working there, what you want to do in next 3 months to 6 months, please pen it down. And yes, we are in a technology age, but pen and paper really gives you a direction. You just put it down where you see yourself, and put it on a paper, and put it in your desk or somewhere, so that you're daily reminded of what you are moving. And also pen down those achievements. If you decided 3 months I'm going to upgrade myself to these skills, please, when you have done it, you should check that in your checklist. So it's very important for you to plan early. Hands-on projects. So projects are something which are very important. Your academic, and sometimes there are certain projects which are very personal to you, which you want to do. So if you plan, you can work on projects which you would be using later when you're going for the interviews. Academic projects, very, very important. Please be very focused on your projects. Develop communication skills. Sharpen your verbal and written communication abilities. Very important. Time management. I know how many of you might be thinking that, I'm telling do something things in 3 months, 6 months. We have our, academics, which is demanding. But yes, you can balance academics, projects, and extracurricular effectively if you do time management. So yes, please do time management. Digital presence, very, very important. Maintain a clean and a professional image online. At times company do scan through your social media accounts. So please be very careful about your digital presence, what you are putting at social media, be it LinkedIn, be it Instagram. It's always advised that, your digital presence should be clean. CV preparation, start drafting your CV for future opportunities. So it's always good to, plan, make your CV on time, so that last minute rush is not there. And pursue relevant certification. Very, very important. We all know when you have a certification, you are globally, you're recognized. If you are from cyber security, please take the relevant certification. There's n number of certifications which you can take. So identify the important ones which are from your domain. And so if you decide, okay, in next 3 months I have to do certain certification, probably what you are studying and what the certification demands, the study would be similar. So you need to pen down what are the certifications which I am keen to take up in my near future. It will be really helpful. Now, LinkedIn is something, which is very, very important. There was a survey which was done, and, there's huge number of jobs which come up in LinkedIn, and people are actually using LinkedIn to get jobs. So it's very important for you to understand that, I must not go to LinkedIn when I need job. You should be present in LinkedIn way before you're finding your job. Because, just imagine that I reach out to a person when I need a job, but throughout I'm connected to the person, but I have no relevant communication. So it's a good idea that you are present on LinkedIn. Keep updating, keep posting whatever relevant work you are doing. It will be really helpful. And so these are something LinkedIn. What I'm talking, it might be actually for UK also and in India also. So set your location. If you decide that okay, yes, I want to take up a job in India, set your location to India. If you're looking for job in UK, you could set it to UK. So it's up to you, so that recruiters, when they come to your LinkedIn profile, they know, okay, you are open to work in which countries. And turn on the open to work. So there's a tab which immediately comes on your under your photo that you're open to work. So you could put it on. Follow companies you want to work with and engage meaningfully with their contents. So you must actually follow the companies way before you are applying there, so that you understand about the company, the work they are doing, and lots of updates keep on coming. So it's always a good idea, if you've shortlisted 10 companies where you dream to work, you please follow them and keep checking them as and when you need to plan a LinkedIn strategy for yourself. Stay active by keeping your profile updating and participating in the discussion. So it's really interesting that, uh, so just take an example. I get a LinkedIn request, and there's no photo, there's no profile which is updated. Probably I'll not accept it. So if you want people to, actually come to your profile and, get a good impression, so please keep your LinkedIn account active. Keep posting relevant things, whichever, whatever you're studying, maybe the projects, whatever achievements you do, anything you are participating in which is professional, please put it in the LinkedIn. It will really give you a good mileage. Share what you learned in the UK and show how it applies to the Indian industry. Yes, something relevant which you did in UK in your studies, and how a company where you're keen to apply, you could actually show that. So it's very important that LinkedIn presence is professional, because lots of times, if you've and nowadays, it's a good idea that you actually put in your LinkedIn page link along with your CV, so that anybody who's going through your CV could actually visit your LinkedIn page and see. So this is the job search strategy, which probably is an insight from my experience, that you cannot land up a job without preparation. So I've just tried to put it in in phases. You could identify where you are, like if you're looking for job, and this is not just for India. This is for any where you're planning to work in. Probably if you have, I'll just take an example. If you have 6 months in hand, probably, you could plan that, okay, I'll divide this 6 months into phases. Maybe initial 2 months would be my preparation phase, where I'll make my CV, I'll strengthen aptitude, technical, and role specific skills. Shortlist the target companies, because, if you have list of 100 companies where you can apply, but prioritize, focus on the companies where you want to apply. And during this preparation phase, I'll also suggest you could look at the past aptitude test of the companies. They're all available on the public domain. Suppose you want to apply at Deloitte, for example. So you could look across what are the pattern in which Deloitte does hiring, look at their questions which are asked in aptitude. So you could plan for yourself, okay, this is the preparation which I need. So this will be the initial phase. And networking phase, yes, connect with your seniors, connect with your alumni, connect with the industry professionals. Very, very important. Any international student I talk to, they say, ma'am, networking is the key. And and I think there's one very interesting thing that you're living in UK where people are so, so friendly, so even if you go and talk to stranger, they're so open and happy. So you could, being in UK, you could actually talk to the industry professionals, and I'm sure it's the inputs which you are going to get from them are phenomenal, and that will really help you to understand the industry. And as I said earlier also, don't approach somebody when you want to, just take a job. You should network with them, seek inside how I can prepare myself better for jobs, for the interview. Take inside how is AI evolving. So you could take inside on whatever sector or domain you are from, take insight, and you could network with, your industry professionals. And in fact, there's so much learning when you network across with students also from different countries, because AI might be something else in Singapore, in Dubai. So when you talk to them, you understand how AI evolved in different countries. So it'll be really interesting that you network. Stay active and visible on LinkedIn. I've already shared about this. And when you finally decide, okay, yes, now is when I want to start applying. If you're planning to come to India, start applying to these companies, customize your CV. So typically 2 3 months in advance is the right time when you should start applying. And post COVID, I must say it's a blessing that everything has become online, so you can give your aptitude test and initial interviews online. So you can start applying once you are prepared technically, and your aptitude you're well prepared with. And so now here you could reconnect with your network when you are applying for jobs. So suppose some company HR you have been in touch for last 6 months, you could now then politely put across that, or if there is any job opening posted by them, so you could reach out and apply through the network. And prepare for mock interviews. See, we all know that your technical skills are good, but if a company has an online technical test, the speed matters, the way you reply the answers matter. So please take mock interviews of companies wherever you are keen to apply. And yes, the HR interview, so actually, if you look at, you made a very good CV, you cleared the aptitude, you cleared the technical, but you get rejected in a HR round. That's again a major setback. So I would suggest, you could take mock HR rounds. And, even if you don't have somebody to take your HR round, simply take out all the questions which can be expected, prepare the answers, record yourself, try to see how you are answering. And there are so many ways with which you can take your mock interviews, and you know you can actually prepare yourself. Okay, so before we reach the QA, I would like to leave you with a small thought. Success rarely comes from one big moment. It comes from small steps which you take consistently. And here's a small task for you. you could look at yourself and figure out what is the step I can take now that moves closer to the career I want to build. So, you actually need to make a vision board for yourself where I see myself 1 year down the line, and you could point on the ways in which you can get closer to your vision. And in Hindi, we often say, छोटे कदम बड़ी मंजिल को ले जाते हैं, which means small steps lead to big destinations. So, thank you. I look forward to your questions, and I'll just open for the QA. You may ask if any questions you have.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mukta, for your sharing. If you could see the questions that have been flagged at our Q&A box, we have received 4 questions from the attendees today. Would you like to pick them up first? Thank you. Mukta, would it be helpful if I read out the questions we received at the Q&A box for you to answer them then?
Okay, so I can see the question.
Wonderful.
So it says this, is there any specific template to be followed when transitioning from UK to India job sector? Yes, so basically the template, as I already explained, it should be simple, it should be one page, and it would actually depend on where you are applying, and there's no such specific templates. Yes, you need to keep it simple and put all your key skills and your qualifications. If you are a fresher, clearly mention your grades, what you have got. And at times in India, there are companies who actually shortlist student based on the 10th and 12th marks also. So you could look at the job opening and the sector where you are applying, and if you are a fresher, keep it simple. There's no specific template, I would say, but yes, there are lots of formats are available. Keep it simple, keep it easy for AI. If AI is using it to scan through, it should be easy. Okay. Okay. So there's a question that if I want to apply in GCC, if I'm graduating with MSc in September 2026, very nice and thoughtful question. So I would suggest, for now, you could start researching the GCCs where you want to apply, and probably it would purely depend when you are coming. If you are coming back to India by September, I think ideally by August, July, August onwards, you should start applying. But yes, very important it is that you should be technically prepared by then, and your major projects should be done, which you would be mentioning. So for now, I think what you could do is you could identify the GCCs where you want to work, and probably it'll be ideally it should be August, July, August. You should start applying. Okay, so
So, could we pop the slide on the screen with the feedback form while we do the questions so that students can perhaps fill in the feedback?
all right, sure. So you can just scan and give the feedback. Meanwhile, I answer the question. So there's a question that I use AI to tailor my CV to every specific job role. I input words in the job description. Uh, so I would say you could take help of AI, but please do not copy paste your complete CV which comes through AI, so that if you are making a complete AI made CV, there's a high possibility that it's checked, and it might not help. So you could take inputs from AI and make your CV, but do not copy paste everything. You could smartly understand the job description and then make a CV. Okay, so there's one question wherein, it says that I've been applying for job applications both in UK and India. So probably you need to look at what are the sectors, and you need to connect with the right people with whom you could network and understand. If you are in data science student, I see no reason for you to not get a job. Probably look at where you are applying, and I would suggest you could connect with the alumni and senior to take guidance. So there's every time you get rejected, you need not worry. You could reach out to the career services team and take guidance. So I'll suggest, for more questions, you could reach out to the career services team. And I request everyone to please, share your feedback. So I'm just sharing the career services team email IDs.
Thank you, Mukta, for your time. We do have a few questions, and I can see that we have more questions coming up. I may just pick some of the probably more common questions for you to give some generic answers. One is about the timeline. When would be the kind of the peak time or peak months of job applications in India?
So actually, it would vary. The job applications would depend on the sectors. If you are, I would say, from a sector in finance. Now, in India, we have the new financial year starting. So most of the companies would be planning for their new hirings in India. So ideally, by March, you could see lots of, openings coming, and lots of company, they finish their hiring in India through in the campuses. So most of the times they would start lots of job openings which will start coming on their portals. So GCCs, as I already said, they typically keep sharing openings throughout the year. And yes, for business students, there are lots of opening which come up during the festival time. And I suggest if you look at right now, most of the companies keep on, posting the hirings throughout the year. So it will be ideally good that, you go through the last year's openings which came. That will actually give you an idea, because lots of hiring scenarios are changing across. So you would actually look through when the openings came last year. But yes, throughout the year, you'll keep on seeing the openings. So typically, if you are planning to come back by December or September, ideally, you should start looking July onwards. It will be right time, and you'll be able to apply, I'm sure. Yeah.
Thank you, Mukta. And as Mukta shared, there are lots of preparation work that you can do during your study in the UK. Lots of things that can do, and the information collecting online. Just another final quick question that I believe many students may have similar worries about transitioning to a sector which is different from their academic background. Would it be possible? Would employers in India value a lot of your academic background being relevant?
So academic background, yes, as I said, your skills is how you put up your skills. That will be the most important. You might be coming with a different academic background, but you have worked on some projects which are relevant to that sector. So, as I said, 67% of companies in India are getting skill focused. So skills would be there. Yes, there used to be a time in India where they used to clearly said, okay, MBA is a prerequisite for applying for this post, but it's changing now. So academic background, if you are focused on the sector, you know which sector you want to go, please, take up a project in that sector, so that anybody who wants to hire you, they'll hire you based on the skills what you have. So it's equally, academic plays a very important role, but yes, end of the day, how you put your skills forward, that will be more important.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mukta. And mindful of the time, so while we do still, I'm sure our students may have more questions. So Mukta, if you don't mind just showing the slide page where we get the contact emails of the careers team at both universities. And I thank you again for sharing such valuable insights into the Indian labour market and how our students and alumni can position themselves in this global job market environment. So for students and alumni from both Glasgow and Birmingham, if you have any further questions following the session, please do feel free to contact your careers team using the email addresses shown on the screen. I understand for students who are graduating this year, in your final year, there may be questions about whether I should focus on the UK, whether I should start preparing for India, so where my opportunities lie. So do feel free to get in touch with your careers team in the UK and book an appointment with our consultants and advisors, who will be also very happy to continue the conversation and support you through the journey. And if we move on to the next page, before you leave today, we'd really appreciate it if you could scan the QR code to complete our short feedback form. Your feedback would really help us improve and shape our future careers events for you. And I thank you again, Mukta, and thank you all for joining us today. And thank you, Rosie. We hope you found the session helpful, and we wish you every success as you take the next steps in your global career journey. Thank you again, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining in. Be yourself and be confident. Wish you all good luck. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.